My name is Denise Rodriguez, and I'm Program Director at the Peer Recovery Center at Horizon House. Well, I can tell you on a personal level how addiction has impacted families. I lost my nephew to addiction, and in turn, my sister has had to raise her 4 grandchildren. So that has been an impact on her life. Not even being able to mourn the loss of her son and jumping into the role of being a parent of 4 young children has been impacting. And I've also, assisted helping her raising those boys. And I see this all around in our area, grandparents raising their children, and it's not something that is getting any better. It just continues to happen, and it's a sad situation. I think most important Firm Foundation is educating the community, and I think there's a lot of ignorance when it comes to substance abuse and how one recovers, and I think that they're very instrumental on making individuals aware of what's out there in recovery, and that you don't have to be medicated in order to recover. And I've seen that over and over again. And they are showing families that not only is recovery important for the family to be able to thrive, but to be in service. And I see that constantly with all their community events. And each one of those events, most of them, I would say 90% of them, free to the community, are showing them that they can have a good time in a very positive environment. But while they're there, they're also being educated on what substance abuse is, what recovery is, and what that should look like. There has been such a deficit when it comes to recovery in our state, and I think that Firm Foundation is definitely going to answer prayers in the area of recovery where it's needed.
Why is it important to have a service-based long-term residential facility available in Delaware?
I mean, in my experience, when you talk about recovery, and in my experience, I see individuals going to 1 month programs, 3 months programs. It's not working. And I don't believe that a person that has been ingesting drugs half of their life is going to make a change in 3 months. And long-term recovery is where it's at. I think people need to have time not only to address their addiction, but address the root cause of why they're addicted. And that's not going to happen in 3 months. That's why I think it's very important that we start looking back into long-term treatment and not these 3 months programs that are really not working. And people are relapsing, once they leave those programs.
What does the future of the addiction problem look like in our state without access to this long-term resource?
I think it's going to be a revolving door. People are going to get clean. They're going to go to these programs. They're going to come out and relapse because they're not addressing their root issues. They're not addressing the reason why they're addicted or why they're broken. And I just think that there's just not going to be a success. I think the rate of addiction is going to continue to rise. But once we start getting into long-term treatment, we're going to see way more success stories. We're going to see people that are actually healing, and we're going to see people having successes rather than coming out and being in that revolving door, returning back into the streets, returning back into using again. We have to be really logical about this. You're not going to fix a problem in 3 months that's been happening for most of your life. We need long-term treatment so that individuals have time to address these issues, and they will have a better success when they come out. And so therefore, family units are going to improve because dads are going to be returning back home and working and being able to sustain the family. And eventually, you're just going to see so many more success stories come out of it. I think that being in service is such a therapeutic way for individuals who are in recovery to give back, but not only giving back, it just promotes healing. They are also able to be a role model in the community, and it shows other people, wow, if they can do it, I can do it too. So I think that giving back is so important when it comes to your recovery, and whether it's substance abuse or if you're, I employ peers at my peer center, and it's so important because individuals identify with other individuals who have been through some things. And I think it's really important for that model. And I think that you're going to see so many more successes in the community by people who are in service.